Hey, I'm Gracie and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
This new single like that is amazing. I was already like hooked on Empty Love, and then you drop like that with Alexander 23. And how do you continue to create so much great music? Talk to me about that.
Oh, thank you so much, Percy. That's so kind. But yeah, I'm really glad you like it. I feel like that's a little bit of a different direction for me. It's like my first happy song, I guess. Up in the tempo a little bit. But yeah, weirdly, I feel like like inspired me in a way. So, especially with the whole collab thing, I hadn't really kind of touched it properly, and now I get to work with lots of amazing other pop stars. It's amazing. Love it.
How did or this collaboration happen with Alexander 23? Have you been a fan of his before? Was this the first time that you heard of his music? Like, how did that kind of happen?
Yeah, I was a massive fan of his stuff. Dirty Air Force Ones was actually one of my most played songs of last year. Love it. I just think he's such an interesting artist. He's like really forward thinking, and I was a big fan of him before. And then he actually came over to London, and we have like mutual friends. And I think like my manager knew his manager and stuff like that. So me and my manager headed to one of his shows, and like just hung out with him a little bit as well. We actually went on a exploration for tea at 7:30 in the evening, which ended up being a nightmare. But no, it was really, he's such a cool guy. And then we ended up writing before he left back for LA. So yeah, he's so chilled and we got on really well. So it kind of felt really natural when I like finished the song. I was like, I think I want another feature on this. And I was like, I'll send it to Alex, see what he thinks. And yeah, he loved it. So it was wicked.
And what was that collaborative process? With you said that you guys got to write together. So what was that process like? What did you find that he does differently compared to what you normally do with your writing?
I think Alex is so talented because he can produce and he can basically just do it completely himself. And I think like over I've produced some of my singles in the past, like I did different things and stuff, but I think over it really made me appreciate someone like Alex because I was like, oh wow, he really fully is out here doing it himself, like with nobody else. Like, so I think that's interesting. It's interesting working with someone that kind of does the production and the top line. Because usually I'll just be the one in the corner that does the lyrics and the melody and then kind of be like, what do you think of this? Like to the producer. So yeah, it was really cool. It's really collaborative. And he has like some really wicked ideas. Like he's got an interesting brain for sure.
So did he end up producing this entire song as well? And if so, was who brought on the idea of like the guitars? Like I love how much you hear the guitars throughout the song. So what did that kind of like come out of?
So this song was he didn't produce this one. The one that we'd written, so we didn't write this song when we worked together. I'd actually written this song. It's come out to a year ago now. It's like end of September last
Mhm.
year. And it was with my friend Tom Stafford, and we were just chilling in the studio, and I had the idea to use a click in a song for a little while, but it's really hard with like kind of a concept like that because it can either be really fun or just the worst thing you've ever had in your life. And I was like, it was really tipping the line. I was like, I've got to put this one out the bag. But no, it was just a really cool vibe. We were just having fun. I think we'd had like a couple of bevs and we just like wrote the song and then had the chorus, had some of the verses, and then I wasn't like 100% on my second verse. I was like, I need to rewrite it. But instead, I was like, let's just take it out and see if Alexander 23 will do a verse on it. So we sent it over, and literally within like a day or so, he'd like recorded it and sent it back. It was so super quick. I was like, what? Okay, let's go. That's cool though.
As mentioned earlier, this is different from Empty Love and your previous work. So what inspired this new sound or new style of music for you?
I think so. I released a song with my friend 220 Kid in December, and it was that felt like a big different move for me, because it was up tempo and it was like more of a dance song. You could move to it, and from that point onwards, I was like, I love upping the tempo. I think before I was always very like, oh no, no, I want to be able to sing. I want people to hear my voice. And then I was like, no, like it shows so much more personality. And I think what inspired this was more just because a lot of the time I'll play things to my friends and they'll be like, wait, I did not know you were that sad about him at all. And I was like, yeah, because I've just bottled it up. But yeah, I think my friends will hear this song and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like something you would write. Like that sounds like you." Because my actual like everyday personality is quite different to my very emo sad songs. So yeah, it's nice to have something which I can just kind of be a bit cheeky and like fun with.
How different was it singing in the studio for this song? Or did you find it a lot easier? Did you find it a lot harder than your previous material?
It is. I think it's definitely difficult because I think when you're singing a sad emotional song, like I would completely put myself into that space I was when I felt those emotions. So I find it actually maybe easier to connect with sadder material just because it's like a real process to like, you nail it or you don't. But with happier songs and like when it's like more of an everyday kind of like little emotional feeling. I guess it's harder because it's like how do you make it feel special, how do you make it like memorable. So I definitely revocaled like that like way more times than any of the other songs. And I actually had a voice operation last year and my voice sounded different in the demo to the one that we released. Like it was maybe like two tone, it was so much higher in pitch. It was crazy. So trying to like figure out a way to I love the original demo vocal, so I was like, how can I vocal produce this so it like I can kind of mix match them in together so I can keep that like joy from the first session, and also kind of mix it in with like how I actually sound. Like once my voice dropped, oh my god, like a teenage boy. No, but once my voice kind of went back into its like normal kind of tone, so that was an interesting process. But yeah, I love vocals. I think I'm very much like vocal production focused, because so much emotion can come through the voice, like not just through the lyrics.
How different was this collaborative process with Alexander compared to Rule that you did on Empty Love?
That's a really good question. Well, they're both honestly incredible artists. I'm such fans of them both. I think with the rule, because Empty Love was about like social media and it was all about like the concepts are so different. I think we would have chats about like with the video when we were filming it, we had to obviously do it over the internet and over Zoom calls. So we'd like be FaceTiming and stuff and being like, what do we want it to mean? What do we want everything to stand for? Whereas with like that, it's a little bit more straightforward. It's just that feeling of like you like have heart eyes and you're just like, okay, never mind, like indecisive queens. So it was pretty similar to be fair. They're both like very they know what they want, which I really respect in an artist, I think.
And with the releases that you've done so far, like, do you see an EP, an album, like a body of work, like in the works, or do you want to just kind of figure out the singles and kind of figure like hone your sound before you jump onto that?
I definitely think of when I release things, I think of them in almost like so my first like era was like I guess my first EP. So I always think of them as like as I grow as a person and as an artist, like I like kind of sectioning them off like that. And I don't think you know until you get to the end of that kind of journey and you go, oh, right, that feels like a body of work. So I think I'm just waiting for that like real sign to be like, okay, cool. I have the material, the songs now. And I think I'm getting very, very close because I've been finishing some songs and like figuring out some like next moves, I guess. And yeah, I think pretty soon. Hopefully, I can. I don't want to say too much because I always get in trouble because I'm just like, yes, there'll be an album in a week. And then my manager will be like, Grace, why are you promising like, what are you saying? If it was up to me, I'd have an album in a week for sure.
Well, thank you again for taking the time. Congratulations with Like That. Congratulations with Empty Love Still. That was
So much.
your first top 10 hit in the UK, that's insane. I definitely see
I
more
honestly
coming
can't
from
believe
you.
it. Oh, thank you so much, G. Thank you so much. It was lovely to speak to you.